Hello YouTube, I'm Kishan, and in this video we are going to continue the second part of ArcLight, the travel planner app. In this part we'll focus on flight scraping, hotel scraping and the admin dashboard. We are going to utilize the scraping browser provided by Bright Data and host the app on Aptible at the end of the video. So now without wasting any time, let's get started. First I'm going to give you a demo of the app. In case if you have missed it, you can watch it and find the first part on my channel. Now let's get started. In this video, we are going to create this amazing travel planner app built with the latest Next.js 14. And this is not going to be a simple travel planner app. We are going to scrape live data from Yatra and Kayak and seed that into our local database. So this is going to be an amazing build. So we have used Next.js 14, Tailwind CSS, Typescript, Prisma with PostgreSQL, Redis, Stripe. And for scraping, we have utilized Bright Data scraping browser and we have used Puppeteer for the automation of our scraping browser. And at the end, we are going to host this application on Aptible using Docker. And this year we have set a goal to reach 100,000 subscribers. So if you are watching this video and if you haven't subscribed this channel yet, please subscribe it. It will help me a lot. And if you like my work, you can join the channel memberships from here. There are various plans and you can just subscribe to any of it to support me. Now, if you have any doubts, suggestions or any questions, you can just head over to my Discord server. The link's in the description of the video and you can ask the questions here. And apart from this, I have also started freelancing services. So if you have any project requirements, just reach out to me on my Discord or email me and we'll get started. Now, without wasting any more time, let's get started with the demo of our application. So the name of our application is ArcLight. It's a travel planner app which utilizes Bright Data scraping browser. We'll talk about Bright Data after the demo of the video. Okay, so this is the homepage of our travel planner app. This is the nav bar. We have three sections: tours, flights and hotels. We can also log in and sign up. From here we can search for any location and dates, and then we can search for any trips. Then we have this featured places to stay. All of this is dynamic data. We have not used any static data here. So as per you have scraped the locations, this will be displayed in real time. So for the location of Goa, we have 6 trips. Then Dubai, we have 13 trips. So if you have any other location, then it would be randomly shown here as well with the number of trips. Then this is an informative section. Then again, this section as for hotels, this is also dynamic. So as per the data of hotels in your database, this places will be shown. So these are all the hotels of Kuta. Then if I click over here, then it will switch over to Mumbai and we have the hotels of Mumbai. And all of this data has been scraped from Kayak in real time. Now let's search for some trips. So for the location, I'm going to search for Dubai. We are going to select Dubai from here. Let's select our dates and let's search. And you can see that we have all the trips for Dubai. And when we click over this, you will have this awesome layout of trips with all the information that you need. All of this data has been scraped from yatra.com in real time. Now, if you are not logged in, you will see that there's a button named login to book trip and we need to log in for that. So let's sign up and the name is going to be Kishan. The last name is going to be Sheet and password is going to be an admin. Let's sign up and we'll have this beautiful avatar here. And now we'll be able to book the trip. So let's select a date as 24th January and we are going to have 2 guests and let's book the trip. So we have used Stripe for payment here. So we need to make payment. So let's use this email and the card number, which is provided by Stripe for demo purposes, and CVC, pay now. And the payment was successful and will be redirected to the booking page. So booking date is 17 January and we have the booking for 24 January. We have this Dubai winter special trip. We can also book hotels and flights and it will show here. Let's search for a flight, and for flights, the data would be fetched in real time from Kayak. So for source, I'm going to select as Dubai, and for destination, let's select Paris. And the date is going to be on 30th January. Let's search flights and we'll have this beautiful scraping data loader. So these are all the flights that are fetched in real time. You can see that we have all the details and the price, the airline name, the time, And we can also book a flight from here. So let's book this, and we have to pay for it. Use another email again and pay now. Payment is successful. Will be redirected to the bookings page, and you can see that we have this booking type of flight here of Turkish Airlines. We have booked this flight on 17th and the booking is for 30th January. Now we can also filter the bookings from here. So if you have multiple bookings, you can filter it from here. So if you only want to see the bookings of your flights, then you can deselect the trips and hotels. So it will only show for flights. And if you select for hotels, we have no bookings for hotels, so no data will be shown. And if you select for trip again, we'll have trip here, so that's working. Then we can also book an hotel and search for hotels in real time. So I'm going to search hotels for Boston city. So we have Boston from here. Let's select date as 25th January, search hotels, and this will again scrape the data for hotels. This all process will work in background. So data has been scraped, and this is the real-time hotels of Boston. You can see that. Now we can also book the hotels. If I click on book now, we again have to pay it using Stripe. So the payment was successful again and will be redirected to the bookings page, and you can see that we have this booking of hotel, and yeah, this is also working perfectly. Now we can log out from here, and now we have been logged out. Now we also have admin panel for managing everything. So let's head over to /admin. And as soon as we hit the admin route, now first we have to log in. If we head over to any other route like the dashboard, then it will redirect us to the login page. We have utilized Next.js middleware for this. So now let's log in. I'm going to use admin at admin.com, admin, and login. So we have been successfully logged in, and this is our dashboard. You can see that we have total number of users, trips, flights, hotels, and bookings. All of this data is being fetched from our database in real time. Then we have the scraping logs. So this will show that on what date we have scraped how many amount of data. So today we have scraped 20 hotels and 16 flights. We haven't scraped any trips. So if we scraped any trips, then it will show it here. Then we have the current queue. Currently our application is scraping this much amount of data. Then we have the trips page. From here we can see all of our scraped trips and its cities. And if we click over here, we'll be redirected to our trips page. So this is our hotels page. This will show our scraped hotels data. So in total we have scraped 280 hotels. So the last thing that we scraped was Boston city. So these are all the hotels for Boston. And before that we had search for quota. Now let's head over to bookings, and you will see all the bookings that has been made by all the users. So you can also see the payment status from here, and these are the bookings that we did with a new user. And this is our scrape data page. From here you can scrape the trip packages, flights, and hotels. So this is kind of a master admin thing. So we can scrape the trips from here. Then we have the current queue information here as well. And then we have this jobs table that will show us all the jobs that are completed or active. So let's search for a location here. I'm going to search for Bali here, and let's select Bali, and let's scrape the data for Bali. And you can see that one job has been enqueued and it was increased, and you can see the job is here. So first it will fetch all the packages from Yatra. You can see that now we have multiple packages that are enqueued, and they are all fetched from yatra.com. So the number of jobs has also been increased. and you can see that it is being completed in real time. So these two has been failed for some reason, and we have also handled that scenario. If our automation fails, then it will show fail here. The last thing that we can do is log out from our admin panel and will be redirected to the home page. So that's it for the demo. Now, without wasting any more time, let's get started to create this amazing travel planner app using the scraping browser provided by Bright Data. And yes, if you like this build, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps me a lot. Now let's get started. Now let's talk about Bright Data. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to an innovative platform that's transforming the way we interact with the vast expanse of the web, Bright Data. In our digital age, data is more than just information. It's the fuel that powers decision making, drives innovation, and unlocks new opportunities across industries. Bright Data is at the forefront of this revolution, offering a suite of advanced tools designed to help businesses, researchers, and developers harness the power of web data. Whether you are looking to analyze market trends, monitor brand reputation, or gather competitive intelligence, Bright Data provides the key to unlock valuable insights. One of the Bright Data's most remarkable innovation is its scraping browser. This powerful tool is not just a browser, it's a gateway to efficient, effective, and ethical web data collection. Here are just a few of the benefits it offers: simplicity and efficiency. The Bright Data scraping browser simplifies the data collection process, enables users to gather data from website quickly and accurately. Its user-friendly interface ensures that even those with limited technical skills can navigate and extract web data with ease. Then they offer advanced features for enhanced data extraction, with features like automated rotating proxies, captcha solving, and the ability to simulate real user behavior. The Bright Data scraping browser ensures high success rates in data extraction tasks. This reduces the time and resources spent on data collection highly, allowing businesses to focus on analysis and decision making. Then, compliance and ethical data collection. Bright Data places a strong emphasis on ethical web scraping practices. The platform ensures compliance with legal standards and respects website terms of service, giving users peace of mind that the data collection activities are responsible and sustainable. Their services are also scalable. Whether you are a small startup or large enterprises, the Bright Data scraping browser scales to meet your needs. It can handle large volume of data and complex scraping tasks, ensuring that your data collection capabilities grow with your businesses. Then, global reach. With access to vast networks of IPs worldwide, the Bright Data scraping browsers allows users to collect data from any geographic location. This is invaluable for businesses operating in global market or those needing insights into specific regions. In conclusion, Bright Data scraping browser is more than just a tool. It's a strategic asset for any organization looking to leverage web data for competitive advantage. By simplifying the data collection process, ensuring compliance, and providing scalable solutions, Bright Data empowers business to make informed decisions, drive innovation, and stay ahead in the digital age. So that's why we have used Bright Data scraping browser in our travel planner. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so now let's continue with the flight scraping. So first we need to create the UI of flights just like the tools that we have created. So first let's create the page. So let's head over to VS Code, and inside the source directory, inside the app directory, I'm going to create a new folder named as search-flights, FLIGHTS, search flights, and inside of that I'm going to create a page.tsx, and then what I want to do is let's write RFC here and let's name the component as search flights. Save this and make sure that you use client directive here, and let's head over to here, and you can see that we have the search flights. And what I want to do is I'm going to head over to the search component, and let's do one thing. Let's copy this component and paste everything inside our search flights, and I'm going to name this component as search flight again, search flights, and copy that from here, save it, not like that. Let's name this again search flights, head over to the browser, and we need to convert this to use client at the top to make this a client component. And yeah, so now we have the same layout here, and now let's start our changes. So let's head over to the source code, and instead of this, let's change the image to flight search.png, head over to the UI, and you can see that the image has changed here. And then let's change the height to 90 viewport height. And now the height is like this and it's looking great. Now let's change this all content. Instead of this tours, we'll write flights here. After that, explore the exotic world is going to be the same. Now this input is going to change. So first let me check here. I think we will not be needing this components. So from the end, I want to remove that first. So let's get rid of this div, remove it, and that's removed. And let's remove this activities array as well. Remove that. And after this, what I want to do is, let's do one thing. Let's create some states. So I think dates is going to be needed. Then let's create states for use state snippet, and this is for source, set source, not like this, source, source, set source, and initially this is going to be an empty string, and then we'll have use state snippet again, and we'll have source options and set source options, and it is going to be an empty array, and the type of this is going to be like this. City is going to be string, then we'll have code as string as well, like this, and it's going to be an array like this. And we'll do the same for destination. So we'll be having two inputs, source and destinations. Let's copy this, paste it, and change this to destination, set destination. This is going to be destination options, and this is going to be set destination options, set destination options, and the type is going to be the same. Then let's change this dates to flight dates and have it at top. Sorry for that. Let's remove that and have that search location. I don't think search location will be needed because we have source and destination. And then change this dates to flight date and flight flight date and set flight date. After then, what should we do is, just let me check. Okay, so instead of searching the cities from the API, I'm going to remove this piece of code and comment out this handle search as well. And what I want to do is, I want to have a handle source change function and handle destination change function. But before that, uh, I want to have flight codes. So just give me a minute. Not flight codes, but airport city codes. So for that, I want you to head over to Next.js travel planner repository, which is given in the description of the video. And if you are here, make sure that you start this repository. So many people have watched the video but none have started, so make sure that you start this repository. It helps me. And now from here, I want you to head over to source directory, and inside of source there's a utils folder, and inside of utils we have the city airport codes, and we have all the airport codes that we require. So I'm going to copy this entire file. Mm, it's a very long file. Copy and head over to a VS Code and we'll do the same. So inside the utils, going to create a new file, city airport codes.ts, and I'm going to paste in that array here. Now instead of searching from the API, we are going to search from this airport codes. So that would be fast and no API call would be made. So we will have const handle source change, and then we'll have const destination change, and inside of this we'll get the query as string, and first we'll lowercase the query, so const lowercase query equals to query dot to lowercase, and then we'll have const matching cities equals to object dot entries, and we'll get the city airport codes. Make sure that you import it and then filter it out with our function. So filter, then it's going to be an arrow function, and from here we are going to destructure the second element. So if we head over to the city airport codes, we have this code and the value. So from this we are going to get the second value, not this airport code. So we need that city, and what we'll do is we'll have city dot to lowercase, and then we'll check if includes our lowercase query, and after that, after getting all of that, we'll map the code and the city from it, and we'll just have the code and city like this. Bracket should be here, code city, and then we'll do one more thing. I think there's bracket more, and after this, give me a minute. Yeah, after this we'll have dot splice, and we only need to show the first five elements, nothing more. So that is our search code, and after this we'll have set source options as matching cities like this, and we'll do the same for destination change. So I'm going to copy this code, paste in here, and make sure that you get the query as string, and then instead of setting the source options, we are going to set these set destination options like this. And now this all is complete, and now let's work with our UI. So we have this input, so this input would have think, give a minute, and this FA search is going to have a size of 18, then value is going to be source, and on change would be set source, and will have handle source change like this. And then instead of having the cities.length, we are going to have source options.length. And inside of this, let's keep this image as same. And inside the list box, instead of set search options, we'll have set source like this. And then we'll have set source options to null, set source options. And instead of cities, we are going to have source options. And from here, we get the city and the code. So let's grab the city and the code from here. And the key is going to be the code. And the city is going to be like this. And that's it. And let's do one thing. We should wrap this inside of a div. So let's have a div around this input, and we'll give this div a class name of relative, and make sure that you remove the relative from this input, or let's keep it and cut it. And I think we'll need to make some more changes, but I'm not sure. Let's have it here inside of this div. So we have this div of relative. Yeah, it's here. And to this we have grid calls of 3. Then gap of 5 is needed. Padding of 5. Instead of padding of 5, let's give padding x of 10. And let's give items of center, justify center. And rounded of Excel, I think it's not needed. Remove this, save it, and let's head over to our UI. Let's close this GitHub link, refresh the page, and let's search for Dubai. And yeah, we have this, but now we have to make the position change to have it after this. So that should be done. Have we given that? Okay, so I think that should be given here. So instead of top 48, let's give top 15. Just that change. And yeah, this is here. And for the width, we also need to change the width. So instead of 315 pixels, what should we do? Width of full is there. Let's head over to the UI. It's like this. I think we need to decrease the UI width of our input. Is that possible, or give me a minute? Min height of 200 pixels, width of 303 pixels. This is going to be the same. I am not sure what change we have to make that happen. We need to increase this width or decrease that width. I'm still confused in that. Let me do one thing. Just going to copy paste my code, entire code, and refresh the page. Let's search for Dubai, and this is the same. So I think I don't want to change that. Let's keep it that way only. Now, after this div, let's grab this relative div. Where is this div ending? Yeah, copy, and I'm going to paste it, save it, and expected token div expected JSX identifier. What mistake did I make? Save it, and this is perfect now. And let me close this div, copy and paste, and yeah, we have the search location, and perfect. Now, okay, so now in our second div, we are going to change the set source to set destination and handle destination. What name did we give it? Handle destination. Let's check here. Okay, it's destination change. Let's write destination change. Then have destination options, and this is going to be destination options as well. This is going to be set destination and set destination options. Save it, and after that, what this input is for, this is for date. So do you need the date? Let's head over here, search location. Let's search for Dubai, and from Dubai we need to go Paris. Oh, this input needs to be changed as well. So this value of this is going to be destination, and this is going to be Paris. And yeah, this is working perfectly. We also have to change the date values. So input date. What should we do in the date? So let's have flight date and on change there. After this, I'm going to paste this flight date and set flight date like this. That's done, and I think I don't need the start content, or do I need it? Let's see. Yeah, we need it. Let's keep it there. And now the search button needs to be changed. What should be done is, let's grab the search button, cut it and have it outside of that div. And now the instead of height full, we are going to give it a width of full. And now we have this search input, search button like this. Perfect. And now I want to do one more thing. Let's change the placeholder here. So not here, this input. So this is going to be destination, and let's remove the location, and inside of this I'm going to have source, so source and destination. So this is done, our UI is done, and now what we want to do is we need to start the scraping on the click of the button. So for start scraping, first let's do our API. So API would be, just give me a minute. Okay, so we need to create our API. So inside of API, I'm going to create a new folder named as flights, and inside of flights I'm going to create a route.ts, and we are going to do the same that we did inside our trips. So not this, for create trips, what did we do? Not this. Let's head over to trips and no, let's head over to scrape data, and we created this job, create job. And if we head over to API routes, we have this create job. So let's head over to route.ts again, and we'll have something for scrape or jobs. So okay, that would be inside admin. So this is that. Let's copy this code from here and head over to our route.ts, and inside of this what should we do is, I think we'll have this as get request instead of post, and what we'll do is we'll write const search params equals to new URL, and we'll have request dot URL here, and then we'll get the source and destination from our URL. Search params dot get, and we'll get the source from the URL, and let's grab the destination. So const destination equals to search params dot get and this is going to be destination. And now let's grab the date as well. So const date equals to search params dot get, and let's get the date, and then we'll have const response equals to await prisma dot jobs dot create, and we also need to construct our URL for scraping. So const URL equals to https colon slash slash www dot kayak.com. So we are going to scrape our data from Kayak, and then we'll have flights, and then we'll pass in the source here, then dash, then we'll have destination, and then slash, and then we'll give date and slash again like this. And now inside our response, not response but create function of Prisma, we are going to give data of URL, then we'll have job type as type of flight, then we'll pass in the source, destination, and the date like this, and then we'll add this to our queue. And for adding into our queue, we'll have this job type like this. And let's do one thing, let's copy this thing from here and have it inside of this like this, and this has been added, and we'll write here as job created as true, not, we don't want to pass that. We'll write message as job running, and id as response.id. We need to provide the id of the job, and we'll pass the status as 201 as it is created, and then the error instances. So this is done, and now let's head over to our API routes, and let's write the route here. So inside the user API routes, I'm going to write flight scrape as base route slash flights, and we'll have scrape. What did we do? Just let me check. So inside of flights, we just wrote the route.ts. So inside of flights, we have to write the script folder, and inside of that we'll have route.ts. And let's head over to API routes, and now we have flights slash script, and inside of that we'll have our thing. So let's head over to page.tsx again, and inside of here let's create a function as start scraping. Not this one, we have the search flights, and inside of this we want to create our start scraping. So const start scraping equals to async function, and then we'll check if we have source and destination, and we also need to check if we do have flight date. Then we'll write const date, not date, data, as await axios dot p write wrote the get request, right? So it is going to be get, and then we'll have user API routes dot flight script, and then we'll pass in the query string, and we'll have source equals to source, this source. Then we'll have ampersand destination as destination, and ampersand date is going to be flight date. That's it. And now we'll check if data dot id is there. Then we'll have our thing. So we need to show the loader of scraping, and then we need to check if the scraping process is complete or not. Till then we need to show our loader. So first let's do one thing. Let's write an alert here to show that it's created. Dubai, Paris, dates is already there. Let's click on search and inspect console. Do we have any error? Let's head over to network tab, search, and it's not working. I think we need to pass the function to our button. So in this button, on this is input. So on press, instead of handle search, we still have this handle search. I think we need to remove this handle search, and then we'll write start scraping here, and let's click on search, and it's still not working. Let's click it again. Okay, this source and destination is empty. So let's write Dubai here, Paris, dates are already here, but let's change this to 21. Search, and we have this alert of created. Now let's head over to localhost 5555, and if we head over to the jobs, and we have this URL of jobs, then job type is having the dates and everything. You can see that type is flight. So our job was created. We have the destination and source as well. So that's done. Now what we want to do is we'll show a scraping loader, and while this job is being running, we'll show a scraping loader. So for that, first let's head over to Zustand and create the store, not store, but the methods for that, for maintaining the state globally. So let's do that. Okay, so now let's head over to our Zustand store. So let's head over to store.ts, and inside of slices, I'm going to create a new file named as scraping slice.ts, and inside of that, first let's head over to auth.slice.ts, copy entire thing, paste it here, change this to scraping slice, and change this to scraping slice as well, and change this method name to create scraping slice. Save it, and let's remove this things from here. And now let's head over to the VS Code, and what should we do here? Just let me check. Okay, so first we are going to have a scraping method which will check if currently uh, any jobs is running, and if our process is running to scrape. So that is for that. And the setter method to scrape, set the is scraping. So is scraping as boolean, and will return nothing from it, so void. Then we'll set its type. If whenever it is scraping, so we'll set the type of it. So either it is going to be hotel, or it is going to be flight, or else it is going to be undefined, which is our initial state. Then we'll have set scraping type, which is going to be scraping type, which is going to be of type hotel. Or we'll have flights, not like this, flight, or else it's going to be undefined, and we are going to return void from it. Then we'll have scraped flights. So this is going to be flights type. So we need to create flights type. So what this will do is this will just have the array of scraped flights, and then we'll also have set scraped flights as scraped flights, which is going to be of type any for now, and then we'll return void. And we'll do the hotel one also while we are here. So scraped hotels, which is going to be type of any for now, and set scraped hotels. We'll write scraped hotels here, and this is of type any. We'll return void from here, and inside of this we are just going to utilize all of this. So let's copy this, paste it over here, and is scraping is of type boolean, so initially it is going to be false. Then set scraping is going to have like this. Is scraping, we don't need to give type, and we'll just write set is scraping like this. Then we'll have comma, and the scraping type initially is going to be undefined. Then we'll have scraping type. Let's remove the types from here, and we are going to just set scraping type, and then comma. Then we'll have script flights and then as an array, and script hotel as well, comma, comma. Let's do one thing. Let's provide comma to everything. And this is going to be script flights. Let's remove this any, and let's write set and script flights, and in here we are going to write script hotels. That's it. So this is complete. Now let's head over to our index.ts and import and export everything. So import from dot slash scraping slice, and we need scraping slides and create scraping slice, and we'll have create scraping slice exported and scraping slice as well. Now let's head over to our store.ts, and let's import the scraping slice and create scraping slice. So create scraping slice, and let's give the store state a type of scraping slice as well, and destructure the set scraping, not set, but create scraping slice like this. Done. And yeah, the error is gone. Now, what I want to do is let's head over to our page.tsx inside of search flights, and in here we'll grab all of those from our use app store equals to use app store, and from here we'll get the set uh we'll get the set scraping, then we'll get set scraping type, and we'll create another state here, local state, use state snippet, and it is for say storing our id of the created job that is written. So we'll have loading job id, and initially this is going to be undefined, so let's give it a type of number. It is either going to be of number or undefined like this, and in here let's remove this alert if it is created, and we'll write set loading job id as data.id, and then we'll have set scraping as true. So we'll let our Zustand store know that the scraping has started, and we'll write set scraping type as flight. And now we need to create our scraping components. So the loaders, inside of components, inside of client, I'm going to create a new folder named as loader, and inside of loader I'm going to create a new folder named as loader.tsx and index.ts, and inside loader.tsx let's write rfc, make sure it is capital, export and import that, export loader, and let's head over to loader.tsx, and let's use our app store here. So const equals to use app store, and we'll grab the scraping type. We just need the scraping type, and we need to show the loader here. So the class names are going to be let's give this div a class name, and let's remove this loader, and inside of this let's have another div, and then we'll use the video tag. It is going to be self closing, and the source of it is going to be slash loaders slash scraping type, and then we'll have hyphen loader dot mp4. So this is already provided in the assets, and then we'll have auto play loop muted, and the height of it is going to be 500, and the width of it is going to be 500 as well. And after this div we are going to have an h2 which will say scraping data, and let's give the class name to this h2. It's going to be text 4xl uppercase and animate ping. So it's animation from Tailwind CSS, and this div is going to be having a width of full, flex item center, justify center, and let's give this div a class name as well. So this is going to have height of 100 viewport height, width of 100 viewport width, flex item center, justify center, flex call, and a gap of 20. And after that we'll also give text blue text title and fixed top of 0, right of 0, and a background of white, and a z index of 50. And then let's head over to our page layout file, page hyphen layout, and inside of page layout I want to use that over here. So let's grab is scraping from our use app store is scraping, and inside of the main what I want to do is is scraping is true, then I want to show the loader, or else it would not be shown. And we have given the z index of 50, so this loader would be top of all of these components. And I think that's complete. And now let's head over to a UI and let's try to use that. So let's give the source to any country and this to anything, and let's search, and we have this amazing scraping loader. And now what I want to do is I want to create a use effect and check for every few minutes that if this job is completed. Now this is going to be loading infinitely, so for that we need to check if the job is still working or finished. So for that, let's head over to our page.tsx, and let's do one thing. Let's write a use effect and check for every few seconds that if the job is complete. So use effect, and this should run as soon as we have the flight date, not flight date, but loading job ID. So whenever the loading job ID changes, we need to run this. And what should we do is if we have loading job ID, then we want to run this, and we'll have const check if job completed completed equals to async, and inside of async we'll have try catch error console log error, and inside of this try block or logic would be there. And what I want to do after this, I will write const interval equals to set interval function from JavaScript, and we need to run this function with check if job completed, and we need to run this function on every 3 seconds. And then I want to create an ref for storing this interval. So let's write const job interval ref equals to use ref, not user but use ref, and inside of this ref is going to be undefined, and the type is going to be any. And to disable this error for this line, I'm going to use this code ESLint disable next line TypeScript ESLint no explicit any, and we need to import user ref as well. I think we can remove this. Yeah, perfect. Now what should we do here is after getting this interval, we'll write job interval ref dot current equals to interval. We are storing this interval inside of this ref, and why we are storing is because we need to clear this interval. So what we'll do is we'll return if job interval ref dot current is there, then we'll clear that interval. So for that, job interval dot ref dot current like this. Okay, so before doing this API to check if the scraping is complete or not, let's complete our scraping. So let's head over to instrumentation.ts, and inside of this file, what I want to do is I will check here with the else if condition. So we have this if condition for location. Let's close this. Then we have this else if for location. Let's close this as well. And now after this, I'm going to write an else if again. And now I will write if job dot data dot job type job type dot type triple equals to flight. Then we want to start flight scraping. So we'll write const flights equal to await and start flight scraping. So let's head over to scraping and create a new file, flights scraping flight scraping.ts. And inside of flight scraping, I'm going to export const start flight scraping equals to async function, and we'll get the page from that, and page is going to be from Puppeteer, and we are going to return from this the flight type. So I'm going to copy an interface, and we'll have airline logo, departure time, arrival time, flight duration, airline name and price, and we need to return this details. So after this, we'll define return type as promise, and we'll have flight like this, an array of it. And from here, I'm going to write return await page dot evaluate, and we'll have async function, and we'll have promise with type of flight array. And then after this, flight array, and we'll have like this. And inside of this, we'll have await new promise resolve equals to set timeout resolve and 5000 seconds. So what we are doing here is we need to have a timeout for 5000 seconds. So we don't want to do anything for 5000 seconds. So that's for that. And what I want to do is I'm going to write ts no check for this file. And now inside of this, after this, we'll have const flights as flight array, and initially this is going to be an empty array. And now I want to head over to, first let's return the flights, and now I want to head over to Kayak and show you the booking. So let's head over to Kayak and let's search for flights, and let's search for Dubai, not like this, Dubai to Paris, and I want to select Dubai from here, and from here Paris, and it can be any date. And let's hit search, and you can see that we have the code here for airport and Dubai to Paris, and then we have date. So we are going to do this kind of thing, and we can remove this part from here, and you can see we have this date and it is loading. So now I'm going to open up my inspect, and from here I'm going to search for an inner C6 wrapper. So let's select this from here, and inside of this div we have list body. Inside of that we have this inner list inner, and inside of this we have this results container, and inside of results container we have this again this div. Now we have this. And let's search for, we have this nrc6 class, we can use that, but let's search for nrc6 nrc6 hyphen wrapper, and I'm not able to find this. Okay, I have to search it here. Okay, so this is nrc6, and yeah, we have this nrc6 wrapper now, and all of this would have the nrc6 wrapper inside of that. You can see that all of it is selected. So this nrc6 wrapper would be the main thing, and inside of that then we will have for time. So we'll get the departure time and arrival time. So this is that. So for that, let's select this, and we have this class, but instead of that, let's search for vmxl, and we have this vmxl, and inside of this we can get the time of arrival and departure. So we can find that from there. After that, what we can do is, for airline logo, we can just use the nrc6 wrapper. We can have the image from there. And for airline name, do we need the airline name? uh just let me check. Yeah, for airline name we can search for vy2u class, vy2u, and we'll have this, and from that we can get the inner text. So we'll get the airline name from that, or we can grab airline name from this Kuwait Airways. So we'll get the airline name from there. Yeah, then we'll also get the price. So for price, this is that. So we'll get the price from this selector. So for that we have f8 f1 price selector. Let me just copy that and paste it here. So you can see that from this we can get the price. So let's write that all in our code. So first, inside of this flights, I'm going to, now after this I'm going to write const flight selectors equals to document dot query selector all, and in here goes nrc6 hyphen wrapper. Make sure that all the spellings are correct. If it is not spelling or the text, then this will not work. So now we'll have flight selectors. That would be an array. So we are going to map over it. Flight selectors dot for each, and we'll get the flight element from this. And first we'll grab the airline logo. So airline logo equals to flight element dot query selector, and we'll get the image from this. And if this image has a source property, then we'll get that, or else we'll just get an empty string. After this, let's get the departure time and arrival time. So that would be raw. So I'm going to write raw departure time and raw arrival time, and I small. Same goes for here. And now I will write flight element dot query selector, and I will write vmxl dot inner text, not inner html, inner text. And if it has text, then return that, or return empty string. And now we want to split on it, split, and we need to split with dash. And after this we are going to have const extract time equal to raw time, which is of type string, and we'll also return string from this. And inside of this, we are going to have time without hours. So if we head over to the UI, it has expired. Okay. So sometimes it would be hours here. So we don't need that hours here. So that is for that. You can see that this one, this has 15 hour 45 minutes. So we don't need this time. So that is for that. Let's return here and let's write time without hours equal to raw time. And I'm going to write a regex here. So let me copy that so I don't make any mistake. So raw time dot replace with this regex and then trim. Now we'll return time without hours. And now let's get the departure time and our arrival time. So const departure time equals to extract time, and we'll give in the raw departure time inside of this, and then we'll have const arrival time equals to extract time, and we'll provide raw arrival time inside of this. And now inside of this, after this, we'll have const flight duration equals to we'll have flight element dot query selector, and we'll write dot xtw8, and then we'll have its children, and we'll need the 0 children from this, and we'll need the inner text or empty string, and we'll trim this over. And after this, we'll have the airline name. So for that, I'm going to copy this, paste it, and instead of flight duration, this is going to be airline name. And let's change this to VY2U, and all of the other things is going to be the same. After that, let's have price. So const price equals to parse int, and inside of this we'll have flight element dot query selector, and the class is going to be f8 f1 price. Sorry, this is f8 f1 f8 f1 dash price text, and then we'll have dot inner text, or we need an empty string, and let's have trim. Before trim, I want to have a replace over it. So after this bracket, going to write like this, dot replace dot trim, and then parse over 10 digits, and then we are going to have flights dot push, and we'll push airline logo, then departure time, arrival time, and we'll have flight duration, then airline name and the price of airline. That's it. And then we have to return the flights, and all the code inside this file of flight scraping is done. And now let's head over to instrumentation.ts, and in here const flights equals to await start flight scraping, and then we'll pass in the page instance inside of this. And after this, we want to update our job to have the job as completed. So from the catch block, I'm going to copy that, paste that over here, and the where is id equals to job.data.id is complete is true, status is complete not failed, so it is complete. And after this, I'm going to loop not loop, I'm going to have a for loop on flights. So we'll get the flight inside of flights, and then we'll have await prisma.flights.create. So for that, I want to head over to schema.prisma, and inside of here, I have to create a flights model as well. So after bookings, I'm going to write model flights, and I think I can copy the ID from here. I don't want to write it. And let's take this scrape down as well. And then let's have name as string. Then we'll have logo as string. Then we'll have from as string. Then we'll have to as string. Then we'll have departure departure time is going to be of type string. Arrival time of type string. Then we'll have duration of type string. Then we'll have script down is already there. Then we'll have price as integer, and job ID is going to be integer. We are going to store the job ID of the job, this jobs as well. I'll let you know why we are doing that after we have created this. Now let's head over to instrumentation.ts, and before that we also need to generate our schema. So npx prisma generate npx prisma db push npm run dev, not dev, and we also need to start our prisma schema again. Npx prisma studio, let's close this one, head over to vs code, close this, and now inside of this for loop I'm going to write a wait prisma dot flights dot create, and then we'll pass in the data, which is going to have name as flight dot airline name. Then we'll have logo as flight dot airline logo. Then we'll have from as job dot data dot job type dot source, and we'll have from to is going to be job dot data dot job type dot destination. Then we will have departure time as flight dot departure time. Then we'll have arrival time as flight dot arrival, not airline logo, or not this as well, arrival time. Then we'll have duration as flight dot flight duration. Then we will have price as flight dot price. Then we will have job ID as job dot data dot id, and that's all. So our flights would be created, and this part of flight is complete, and I would like to run this, and let's see. So this should work, and cross, let's start our server again because we have made changes in our instrumentation file. We need to restart our server, and let's refresh this, wait for it to compile, and let's have source as Dubai and destination as Paris. Let's select the date as 20th and search, and let's head over to here, and there is a null here, and I think this has open navigating to this. Let's wait for this. I think we can head over to our admin, localhost 3000 and slash admin, and head over to scrape data and check the status from here. Scrape data, and current queue is 3 flights from Dubai to Paris. This is the latest that it's scraping. It's still active. Let's wait for a few minutes. Okay, so our job has completed, and let's head over to Prisma Studio, and let's head over to the flights, and it didn't got any flight. Okay, so this ongoing jobs is the other thing. So this is from scrape route. So let's do one thing. I need to close this page and that would go. And for some reason our job did get fail. So we need to have consoles everywhere and check. Let's head over to job and see the status for that. Jobs, and it has been completed. What's the issue? Let me check and I'll let you know. Okay, so I have found the issues in the code. So what I want to do first is I'll head over to this, and from here let's select on this, and I want you to copy this here because that's a different character, and that's what was causing the issue. And one more thing I wanted to do is uh I think that's all we need. So let's keep that. And other thing that I wanted to do is instead of here 0, I want to write 1 here. And let's save this. And now I'll head over to Prisma Studio and I want to delete all of this stuff that I have scraped for testing. Delete. And uh, I want to do one more thing. Restart our server. Start our server again. And if we head over to instrumentation, I have done one more thing. I have console log this and the flights to see if things are working. And now we'll head over to ArcLight, refresh the page, and I'm going to select the source as Dubai, Paris, selecting the date, search, and open up my console. And we also have to fix this JWT expired error. If it is expired, we should just delete the cookie. So let's do that. Let's head over to logout, and inside logout we have this cookies delete. And now let's head over to me route, and in here I guess we are checking, and JWT verify. So it might be inside of this. If JWT verify is not there, then we'll do cookies dot delete access token, and I think this would work. And browser closed successfully. It fetched no flights. Why was that? Let's restart this. And refresh this. And let's search for Dubai and Paris. Let's search for flight and let's wait. This issue is still not fixed. JWT expired. We need to fix that. Okay, our flights have been scraped, and let's head over to Prisma Studio, refresh, and you can see that we have all the details: the name, the logo, from, to, departure, arrival, duration, price, and job ID. So everything is working. Now I'm going to close this and head over to the instrumentation file. I'm going to remove this consoles from here, and yeah, our job is complete here. So what I want to do is let's head over to The route that we wrote, which route was it for? Uh, just give me a minute. We had this flight scraping.ts. No, just give me a minute. I'll check it. Okay, so we have not created that API yet. So what I want to do is let's head over to one of the route, and inside of this, inside the flights, I'm going to create a new folder named as scrape hyphen status, and inside of that I'm going to write route.ts. This will be route for checking the scraping status if the job is completed or still running. So we'll write export async function get will have request as request, and then we'll have try catch block error, and let's copy the error response from here, paste it, and make sure that you import next response. And inside the try block, what I'm going to do is we'll get the search param, so new URL request dot URL, and inside of this we'll get the search params, and then I will write job ID equals to search params dot get, and I will write job ID. Now if we have the job ID, then first we'll check is the job ID valid. So is valid job ID equals to await Prisma, not print Prisma dot, we need to import Prisma, so import from at lib and Prisma, and we'll write await Prisma dot jobs dot find unique, and we'll pass where clause here, and we'll write ID as parse int, and we'll pass in the job ID like this. And after this we'll check if is valid job is false, then we'll return next response dot json as message that invalid job ID, and we'll also give status as false here. And after this I will also have status as 400 like this, and after this if clause I will have another if clause, and we'll check is valid job dot is complete is true, then I will write const flight. So we'll get the scrape data from prisma dot schema dot, not schema, prisma dot flights dot find many, and we'll find all the flights that are related with this job ID. So remember that I told you inside the schema.prisma that we'll be using that job ID afterwards. So this is for that. So we are getting all the job ID associate, all the flights associated with job ID, with this job ID. So that was for this, and now we'll get all the flights, and we'll return next response dot json, and we'll write message as job completed, job completed, and we'll also pass in the flights, and the status is going to be true this time, and the other status code is going to be 200. And after this if block, if this job is not complete yet, then we'll have an else block, and we'll just return next response. Let's copy this next response, paste it over here, remove the flights, and let's write job incomplete, incomplete, and the status is going to be false like this. And I think this is it. And now there is another if block. So let's copy this, and at the end I'm going to paste it, and this is going to be, if we don't have job ID, then we will write job ID is required like this, and that is all. Now I want to head over to our page.tsx, and we can utilize everything here inside the search flights. So remember that we have written this try block but not written any code inside of this. So we'll be utilizing that here. But we'll also need to add that route inside our API route. So inside API route, after flight scrape, I'm going to write flight scrape status and base route slash flights scrape, and that is it. And let's head over to page.tsx, and inside of here, inside the try block, what should we do is we'll write const response equals to await xuse dot post, not post, the get request, and we'll have template string and user API routes dot flight scrape status, and then we'll pass the job ID as query parameter. So job ID equals to loading job ID, and that is it. Now we'll check if response dot data dot status is true. Then what should we do is I'll be writing set scraped flights, and that set scraped flight should be from our use app store. So let's grab that set scraped flights, and inside of here going to write set scraped flights as response dot data dot flights, and then I will write clear interval. So after we have fetched everything, so we need to clear that interval. So job interval ref dot current will pass that inside of this, and then we'll write set scraping as false, so our will be removed, and then we'll write set scraping type as undefined because now we don't have anything being scraped. And now after this we'll write router, so we need next router, so router is already here, so we just have to write router dot push, and then we'll be inside flights, and we'll pass in the date which was selected as the URL as the parameter, and that is it. And inside this flights page we'll be displaying our flight. So let me quickly do that as well. I'm going to close this inside source, inside app, inside of this. I'm going to create a new folder named as flights. And inside of flights, I'm going to create a page.tsx. Let's write RFCE for flights, and let's head over to our UI and test everything. Hope it works. Let's search for Dubai and Paris again, and let's select one of the dates and let's hit search. Hope it works. So here you can see that it is making an API call on every 3 seconds, and it would be returning us that job is running. So let's wait. Let's select on any of this job and it's still running. Let's verify the code. It's being run in infinite loop. I'm not sure why. Connected, navigating. and we are passing null 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 here. And I think this did scrape things. And let's head over to our Prisma Studio, and currently we have 17 flights and now we have 32 flights. So it did work, but something is messed up in our code and it's being called infinitely. So inside of instrumentation, this would be called only if we have passed anything. So let's head over to our page.tsx, and what we are doing here is we are having start scraping, and we are having here flight scrape status. So if we head over to here, I think we messed up here. So instead of scrape, I have to write scrape hyphen status here, and think that was the issue because we were calling the other API. So now let's delete all of these records and refresh our page again, and let's try this time. Dubai and Paris, search, and let's open up this console, and this time it's perfect. Let me open up my Prisma Studio. Going to refresh it. Let's head over to our jobs and see if the job was completed. No, the job is still active. Strange, it is still being connected to this null. Let's head over to our flights and see if flights have been scraped. It's not. Okay, so we had navigation timeout. Let's do one thing. I'm going to close this and npm run dev again. And I'm going to close this one and refresh this. Oh, we were inside flights. So I think it did work, but flights are not scraped. Let's head back, reload, and nothing is being called here. Let's search for Dubai. Let's search for Paris. Search. Let's wait here. And do we need to change anything here? Okay, nothing is there. Let's wait here. This is still not working. Let's head over to Bright Data. Okay, browser has been closed successfully. We are inside the flights page, and if we refresh this, yeah, the data is here. So it did work perfectly. And yeah, it did take time, but it did work perfectly. And if we check here, flights data, okay, it's scraped status. So it returned true and it did return us flights. So our code was working perfectly. Now we just have to uh, design this flights UI and book the flights and everything. So that would be done. And let's do one thing. I want to log out and log in again. So log in. Not this. I have been logged in, and yeah, I might not have the error now. And now let's do the UI for flights. So now let's scrape for Dubai and Paris again. And this time, what I will be doing is, I'll just show you 28. And while this is being done, let's open up inspect. Make sure that you open up inspect and the network tab. We want to save the script status. And now let's head over to our flights page. And inside of here, let's do our things. So const router is equals to use router from next navigation. Then we'll write const search params equals to use search params. Remember that we had date inside our search params as date, so we'll get that. So const date equals to search params dot get, and we'll get the date from there. And then we'll have const equals to use apps, not accursion, use app store, and inside of this we'll have scraped flights and user info. And then we'll also have const book flight equals to async. We'll get the flight ID of which flight we want to book, and then we'll write it like this. We're just creating the function, and we will also need a function const get random number equals to an arrow function. This random number function would be used to get a random number for seats left. So math dot random and into 41. And let's head over here and scrape status. Here we would have written this flights. So I want to copy this object and head over to a UI, and in here I'm going to write const flights equals to this. So we'll have the flights here, and I just want this for now. And instead of using that from script flights, we are going to use that from flights, because I can show you things. And on the page saves just and refreshes our store, so that might not work and I might not be able to show you the UI. And make sure that you use client at the top. Now let's write our component. Let's remove this and let's write class name as margin of 10, padding x of 20, viewport width, and then we'll give min height of 80, viewport height. Inside of this div goes the button for back. So let's head over to trips, page.tsx strips, and we did write that button here for go back. So I'm just going to copy that from here and paste it over here. Make sure that you import button and FA chevron left, and let's head over to the UI. You can see that we have the go back button. Let's close this and head over to the UI again. After this, I'm going to have a div with flex call, and we also need flex gap of 5. And inside of this, after like this, I'm going to have flights dot length, or let's write script flights dot length triple equals to 0. Then we want to show this div, and this div has a class name of flex item center, justifies center, margin top of 10, rounded large, Then what else do we have? We'll have text red, text red of 500, and then we'll have bg red of 100. Then we'll have font as medium, and inside of this div goes our content, which would be no flights found. If there are no script flights, then we'll show no flights found, like this. And let's head over to the UI. You can see that we have no flights found, and we forgot to give padding here. So let's give padding y as 5 and padding x of 10. Save it, and this is perfect. No flights found. And now after this div, not this div, after this, I'm going to check if there is flights. We are actually going to use scraped flights here, but at the moment we are going to use flights.map, and we'll get the flight from it. And then I'm going to write const seats left equals to get random number, and then we'll return the div, and the div should have a key first. So key equals to flight dot id, and what should we give an else? So this div also has a class name, and this is the main container. So let's give this div a class name of grid calls of 12, and border gray of 200, not uh, this, border gray of 200. Then we'll give rounded XL. Then we will also give font medium, and we'll give drop shadow medium, like this. And now inside of this div we'll have another div with call span of 9, and the other is going to have call span of 3. So this div would have background white and rounded L of XL, padding of 10, flex, not float, flex, and flex call, gap of 5. Save it, and if we head over here, you can see that we have this kind of layout here, and this is for all the flights. And now after this, inside of this, have I'm going to have grid inside of it. So grid calls of 4 and a gap of 4, and inside of this div I'm going to have flex call, gap of 3, font medium, and inside of this div again I'm going to have an empty div, and inside of that div I'm going to have a class name of relative width of 20, and height of 16, like this. And now inside of this I'm going to use the image tag. So image next image, not next UI, going to import the image from next image. Source is going to be flight dot logo, and will also provide alternative text is airline name, and then we'll give it a fill attribute. Save it, and let's head over to the here, and we'll need to add this content.rcdn.net inside our next config. So let's head over to next config because the image is outside of that remote pattern. So inside of this I'm going to add this content.rcdn. Let's copy this from here, and let's write host name and URL, and let's remove the HTTPS and all of this. We just need this, and our server would restart because of that. And let's refresh this. That might work now. Yeah, we do have the airline logos. Perfect. And let's head over to page.tsx, and what next should we do after the image? So let's use the name. So after this div and this div, going to have another div which will write flight.name, flight dot name. Let's head over to the UI. Name is there. Now, after this, let's close this div and this div as well. And then we'll have a goal span of 3. And inside of that, I will write flex, justify between. And inside of this, I will have flex call, gap of 2. And inside of that, again, I'm going to have div with a class name of text blue, and I'm going to select 600, and inside of that I will write from. Then I will have a div with no class name, and inside of that I will have span and strong inside of it, and write flight dot departure time, and let's give this a class name of text 3 excel. Save it and let's head over to the UI. Perfect. Isn't it looking great? Now after this, strong and span and this div, what should I write after this? We'll end the span, this div, and we'll write another div, and we'll write flight dot from. And after this div, let's end this div, and this is from and the city name. And after this, what should we do is let's have a div with class name is flex call, item center, justify center, gap of 2. Inside of this I will have background violet of 100 with max, padding of 3, text of 4xl, text blue of 600, rounded full, and what else, and inside of this I will write md outline flight. Make sure that you import that from md package. And now we will have this flight icon. Perfect. And after this div, we'll have another div with empty class name span, and class name is going to be text of large, and inside of this write strong, and inside strong I'm going to write non-stop. Save it, and after this span and ending this div, I'm going to have another div, and we'll write flight dot duration like this. And let's head over to the UI. This is for flight duration. Everything is different here. Now let's do the 2 here as well. So after this, and let's end this div, have another div, and I think this div can be copied from here. So let's copy this div entirely, paste it here, and instead of from we'll have 2 here, and flight arrival time here, and flight dot to. Save it, and perfect. This all is completed. Now let's have the pricing here. So this is looking great. Now after this flight dot to, let's end this div and this div, and after that we'll have one more thing. So we'll write flex, justify center, gap of 10, bg violet of 100, and then we'll have padding of 3, rounded large. Inside of that we'll have flex and span, and the span will write airplane ampersand nbsp, and ampersand nbsp again. And after this we'll write span again, and we'll write Boeing 787, and let's give this span a class name of text blue of 600 and a font semi bold. And after this span and this div, going to write a flex again, and inside of that flex div we'll write span of travel class, and then we'll write ampersand nbsp. This ampersand nbsp is for space, so for white space, And after this span, I'm going to have another span, and this will have economy written inside of this. And let's give this the class name of this and paste it. Let's head over to the UI. Looking great, isn't it? Now what should we do is, yeah, we still need to write that seats remaining. So after this economy span and this div, I'm going to have flex again. This time justify between and font medium. Now inside of this div, I'm going to have div again and write refundable span class name text blue 600, and inside of that I will write dollar $5 e cash like this. And then after this div, going to have another div, and the class name is going to be dynamic, so let's write like this. And we'll check if seats left, so seats left is the random number, is greater than 20, then we need to display text green 500, not 600, 500, or else we need to write text red 500 like this. And inside of this I will write only seats left, seats left, save it, head over to the UI, only 10 seats left. And now after this div, I will have another div which will say flight details, and the class name is going to be cursor of pointer, flight details, cursor pointer, perfect. So we also have red and green text. So I think this right here is complete. Let's end this div, this div, this div, and we have this div. And inside of this, what should be doing is, after cool span of 3, I'm going to write bg violet of 100, rounded right of excel, height of full, height of full, flex, flex call, item center, and then we'll have justify center, gap of 5, call span of 3, and we have already given call span of 3. And inside of this div, going to have an empty div again, and inside of that I will have span with the class name of line through and font light. And inside of this I will write flight price, flight dot price plus 140 to just have an increased flight price, and then we'll say it is in discount, just all like every other website does. And let's give this a class name of flex, item center, gap of 2, and inside of this I'm going to write span, class name is text 5xl or font bold, and inside of this we'll write dollar flights dot price, and after this I will write span, class name text blue 200, text blue not 200, 600, and I will write 20% off like this. Save it. Let's head over to the UI. 20% off is here. And now after this I'm going to have a button for flight booking. So after this div, let's end this div as well and write button, and button will have, if there is user info, then we need to write book now, or else we'll write login to book. And this button is going to have variant as ghost, then we'll have radius as large, then we'll have size as large as well, or instead of large we'll give full here, and size, then color is going to be primary. After this we'll have on click listener here. On click, what we'll do is, if there is user info, then only we want uh, the user to book the flight, or else they cannot book it. So we have booked now because we are logged in. So this is working now. We will change this flights to scrape flights, and before that let's do one more thing. We need to write our book flight logic right here. So this book flight is still remaining. So inside of this, what should we do is const ISO date. So we need to get the date. So we can get this from trip, and this page.tsx, we had this ISO date here somewhere. So we need this ISO date. Let's remove this console. It's not needed. And let's copy this entire code, and let's head over to here, and let's paste it here. And instead of date, this is data because we have written data here, or let's change this to date, and this is date, and date dot to ISO string. Then we should write axios, get user API routes. We need to create that, and instead of trip data, this is going to be flight ID, just like this. And instead of trips, this is going to be flights, and user info dot id 30. Let's write 30 here. And I think our ISO date logic would be different than this. So let's remove this and write this instead. Done. And this URL remains the same. Flights is here. We need to pass in the ID here. Okay, we did pass it here. So this is complete book flights, and I'll head over to the create hyphen booking route. So what route it is, let's check. Create booking. So that's a booking route, and inside of this, what I want to do is for post request we will add a switch case here. So this is post, and after this I will write a flights case here, and then we'll have booking details equals to await prisma dot flights dot find unique, and let's grab this ID, and all of this booking ID and everything is going to be the same. And I think we will need to parse this as integer. So let's write parse booking ID. This is for flights, and now we will need to add one more case somewhere. I don't remember. So this was for get, and did we write the get request? Just let me check. Okay, inside of get bookings we have this get, and in here we have this. So we can do this from here. So we'll add a case of flights, and then we'll have everything. So let's do the same for flights. I'm just going to copy paste my code. Nothing break through here. Flights, and let's remove this. I don't need this. And flight equal to await prisma dot flights, find unique, percent booking type ID. If flight is there, get the flight dot name and return it. So this is for the bookings page. Now let's head over to our page.tsx. I think everything is complete, and instead of this, let's remove this, and at the end let's write scraped flights here. And Let's give this as any for now and go back. Need to reload this. Head over to flights. Let's search for, and in here the go back should be changed to search hyphen flights because go back refers to search flights. And in here let's search for Dubai, or let's search for different cities. Instead of Dubai, let's search for Mumbai here. Dubai to Mumbai. And the future date, search the flight. Wait for this to complete. This might take time. Okay, our flights has been scraped and we have the real-time data, and let's try to book one of these. So let's book this. Let's click on this book now, and we should be checking out. Let's use demo card details, pay now. Is this successful? Wait for redirection to the bookings page. And we are inside the booking page, and you can see that it's completed with today's date. It's working. Now let's uh, do this sorting. Let's remove the trips from here. So we only have the flights, and if we remove the flights, get the trips. So this is also working. So yeah, our flight section is complete successfully. Now we'll do the hotel section. So let's do that. Now let's do the hotels, and let's click on this, and we'll have search hotels page. So we need to create that. Let's head over to VS Code, and I'm going to close all of this. Don't save, and close this as well. Now inside source app, I'm going to create new folder named as search hyphen hotels, and inside of that I'm going to create a page.tsx. And let's do one thing, let's create all the files that we are going to need for hotels. So let's also create hotels, and inside of this hotels I'm going to create a page.tsx, and let's write rfce here, and this is hotels. Let's write rfce here as well. This is search hotels, save it. And I think let's not do this, and let's head over to page.tsx or search.tsx, and let's copy this entire component for this as well, and I'm going to paste it over here. And this component search is going to be a mix and match of the search of this component search and the search flight. So let's write search hotel, search hotels here, and change the name here as well, search hotels, save it. And now let's uh, create the API folder as well. So now inside this I'm going to create a new folder named as hotels, and inside of this we just want to create like this. So new folder, scrape, and inside of scrape I'm going to create route.ts, and let's head over to this new folder, scrape status, and let's create route.ts, and close this. We don't need this for now, and let's create one more file. Inside of scraping I'm going to create hotel scraping.ts. Let's just create this, and now let's head over to our page.tsx and save it, and let's head over to the browser. We need to make this component a client component at the top. So use client, and now we have the same page as we have for the trips. So we need to make several changes here. So first, we don't need this activities. Going to remove this, and from the end going to remove up this div, save it. And other thing that I want to do is, instead of this image I'm going to write hotel search dot png and fail to parse source hotel search. So that is slash hotel search, and then we'll have this image best choose for you in mind, and this is best hotels made for you in mind. Then what else? We need this input and set selected city, and this is for set search location and search cities. So let's do one thing. Let's write uh, another things. So inside of here, first I'm going to grab the const set scraping type, or let's close this and let's head over to page.tsx and search flights. And from here, we need this thing and login job ID. Copy this. Let's paste it here. You need the use app store from our Zustand store. Then the dates is going to be hotel date and set hotel date. So let's keep this dates only. And after that, we have this loading job, and then we'll have start scraping. And do we need the handle search? I think we do need it. So cities and set cities, and then we'll have selected city. So search location is not needed. Instead, we'll have selected city state like this. Cut it and paste it here. And in the handle search, or in we'll have search cities here. No, this is not search cities. We don't need this function only. So this is search cities, and this is all we need. And other things that we will be needing is from search flights. So from here, let's remove this and let's grab the start scraping and this job interval ref and use effect and everything. So I'm going to copy up this entire code from here till the use effect and paste it here. And we need the use ref. So import use ref, then we need use effect, and then we need use API routes, and this things has to change inside of this. So instead of this is going to be the dates, and instead of flights, this is going to be hotels, and instead of flight script status, this is going to be hotel script status. So we need to change all of this, and for the start scraping, we just want to have the selected city. So selected city, and then we'll have hotel scrape, and instead of passing all of this, we'll just pass in the location pop location equals to selected city like this, and we'll change all of this afterwards. Let's head over to our content and change the markup first. So inside the markup, in this input, the color is going to be danger, then value is going to be selected city. So selected city, and this is going to be set selected city, and this is search cities. Perfect. After this, we have the cities dot length, and inside of this, we are going to have set selected city cities dot map. We just need the cities, and after this, we'll have an input for dates, and we need to use that. So for that, value is going to be dates, and on change equals to event equals to set hotel. No, we have set dates, right? So e dot target dot value like this. Now we'll have this button which will have handle, not handle, but will have start scraping, and this will search hotels, that is it. And we have this search hotels. Perfect. And I think we can do one thing. We can take this button and paste it outside of this div, and we'll have something like this. And instead of height full, let's give a width full. And this button is looking great. And now this needs to be changed. So this div at the top, instead of this, let's give grid calls of 2, and we have something like this. And this is looking great. Now let's search for Dubai, and we have selected Dubai, and now we want to search the hotels for that. So first we'll need to have the route for that. So we have the scrape, right? So from this I'm going to copy this hotels and paste it to hotels. And what should we write inside of this? Just let me check. So we need the search params, and instead of search we'll just need the location. So const location equals to search params dot get, and we'll have location, and then we'll have URL. So kayak.com, and this is going to be stays, and we don't want to pass in anything here. This is all we'll need. So response await prisma jobs.create, and the type is going to be hotels, and we just pass in the location type hotel, and we just need to pass this location, and this is going to be hotels and location, and this is it. That's it. Now let's do for this scrape status as well. While we are here, I'm going to copy all of this from here, paste it over here, and I think we cannot do this because we still have to create the hotel schema. So let's do the hotel schema as well. I just want to complete that as well. So model hotels, and what should I do inside of this? Let's grab the ID first from here, paste it here, and other things is going to be the name of hotel, which is of type string, then image of hotel, which is of type string. So name, then image of type string. After that we'll have price of type integer, job ID is going to be integer, then location is going to be of type string. And let's copy this scrape down, paste it. That's it. So this name is for the name of the hotel, image is for image of the hotel, price is for price of the hotel, location is the location of the hotel, and scraped on is for when the hotel was scraped. And this job ID is just like this flights concept. So we'll use to fetch all the hotels when it is scraped. So let's head over to scrape status and change this prisma.jobs.find unique. So I think this is going to be the same. Then is valid job. Instead of this, this is going to be hotels. And for this to work, we need to generate our schema. So npx prisma generate npx prisma db push, and let's run our server again. And I need to run my Prisma Studio. And what else should we do? Mm, okay, so this is going to be hotels. Find many, and this is going to be hotels as well. And I think this is it. This is all the change this file was needing. If there's anything left, we'll do that. We don't want this search flight. Let's close this and head over to our page.tsx. And I think we need to change our need to change here, and let's head over to API routes and add the API routes here. So let's copy this flight script and flight script status and change this flight to hotels script and hotel script status. So hotel script status, and this is going to be hotel as well. Let's check what we have written inside of route. So that's this hotel script, and this is going to be hotels script status like this. Perfect. Head over to page.tsx, and instead of flight script status, hotel script status, and at the top we have this, and we'll pass hotel script instead of that, and we have passed select a city, and this is hotel, and check if job completed, job ID logged in, job ID set. This is not set script flight. Instead of script flights, we are going to write set script hotels, and in here let's use that set script hotels. So response dot data dot hotels here, and clear interval, set scraping type, router dot push hotels data, and I think this is it. This is all the change that was required. And now let's create this, and the first what I want to show you is Dubai is here, search hotels, and it is showing the script status. Now let's head over to Prisma, and let's head over to our jobs, and let's reload this. And if we head over to the end, we have this data is null. I'm not sure why. And this source and destination is also null. And when was this created? 1512. Okay, so let's check the URL. It's null, null, null. And I think we were not able to create that. Let's search for Paris. Let's select a date and search hotels. And it just started the scrape status. So inside of start scraping, we forgot to save this file, I think. Let's head back, reload this, head over to hotels and search for Paris again. Let's search for any hotel, search hotels, and we have this scrape location equals to Paris, and job running is there. So let's see if the job is actually there. Okay, so we have this hotels job, and this is done. Now we have to change our instrumentation file to support this. And now I want to head over to Kayak, and I want to head over to the stage. And what we have to do in our scraping browser is, now if we select if we want to search for Paris hotels, so what the process would be, so we have to head over to this URL, then we have to select this, and in here we have to type Paris, and the first would be the city, and then we have to click on this button, and I think we need to have some dates here, this and search. And if we click on this, it will take some time and it will show you the hotels. So this is the normal process, and from here we'll scrape it. So we need to have that. So what actually happened was other pages open, you can see here. So we need to also make sure that that is working, that if any other page is open, then we want to capture the results from that. So let's head over to our instrumentation file, and we need to have everything here. So inside of instrumentation, and no, nothing else. So let's write else if here. So else if job dot data dot job job type dot type. triple equals to hotels, then we want to proceed inside of this. And now for hotels, what should we do is, let's create the hotel scraping, and let's head over to hotel scraping file. And this is going to be a large file. So first, let's export const start hotel scraping equals to async function. And inside of this, we'll need the parameters as page. Page is going to be just the page. Then we'll also need the browser instance. So browser as browser. Then we'll need the location of type string because we want to type it. And now inside of this, first we'll set the viewport. So we'll set await page dot set viewport as like this. We'll provide in the width, which is of 1920, and then we'll provide the height as 1080. And now after this, we'll have a wait page dot wait for selector, wait for selector, and the selector is going to be this. I'm just going to paste it. So this is for loader. So what this mean is, after this selector is there, then only we want to start scraping. So this will load after everything has been loaded. So let's head over to Kayak, and not here, let's head over to this chase, and this will load after everything is done. So we want to wait for this, and let's search this, inspect, search. And if you have this, you can see that we are selecting this input. So we are waiting for that input to load. So after that input is loaded, we want to type on it. So await page dot type method, and we want to paste in that again. And now we want to select the nth child of 2. So not the first but the second. So if you head over here, we have two instances of that, and we need the second of this, not the first. Okay, so we need the second of this, so nth child of 2. And then we'll pass in the location that we need to type, and then we'll have const li selector equals to this. So now when we click on this, this will pop up, and this would be a UL. So if I can just only show you, I might not able to show you in the video because it just disappears. So I'll just grab the selectors. You can just paste it and write it. So this is the li selector, and we need to select on that city. And after that, I want to write page dot click, and click on that selector. And after that, we'll need that submit button. So we also need to select that button and wait for that. And after that, what I'm going to do is, as we click on that button, our new page would be created. So for capturing that, what I will do is const target equals to await promise dot all. And inside of this, I will pass an array like this, and I will write first this promise should be resolve, and we need to have browser dot once, and we have this target created. So whenever a new tab is created, this method target created is being fired, and we need to have resolve, and then we'll have await page dot click, and we need to click on the button selector like this. So this is done. And now after this, we'll have const new page So now we'll capture the new page. New page is equals to target await target dot page, and we got the page and target. So this is the thing that we are using. And after this, we'll wait for some time to let the page load. And what is this error? Target is of type unknown. No issues. Now this is just a timeout, so we want to wait for this page to be there. And now what we want to do is page is created, but now we want to switch it over to that page. So for that, what we are going to do is I will write await again, and new page dot bring to front method is there, and we are going to call that method to call the page, uh, and then again wait for some time to change the tabs. And after this, again I will have some more timeout. Let's have for 10 seconds, and then we'll have return await new page dot evaluate, and this would be our actual scraping would start from here. And in here we'll have const hotels equals to like an empty array, and then we'll have selectors and everything. So from this we need the title, price, and the photo. So let's scrape that. Now again, what I want to do is inside of this, after this, let's grab the selectors. So const selectors equals to document dot query selector all, and we need YUAT. And let me show you that. If we head over here and let's search for Paris, and let's search for here YUAT, this selector. If you see this container has everything that we need. And now inside of YUAT, this selector will have IIRT header, not this. Um, if we go inside of this and inside of this, you can see that we have this IIRT header, and inside of this we have the actual text. So we'll get the name from it, and we'll get the image and everything from the other. So just let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I just have an for each inside of this. So selectors dot for each will get the title, its inner text, then we'll get the price with some regex, and we'll get the photo as well, and then we'll push it inside of the hotel. And now after this we'll write return hotels like this. And what variable has any type? Let's write tsignore at the top here, and that's done. And now we'll have the hotels. So now let's head over to the uh, instrumentation file. So instrumentation.ts. And now inside of this, what I will do is let's write, oh, I also need to import export that from here. So import from hotel scraping, and that is going to be start hotel scraping. And let's paste that start hotel scraping here. And inside of here, what we will do is console. Uh, let's head over to that page here. Did we do that? Yeah. Okay, page.goto is done already above. So inside of here, we'll do const hotels equals to await start hotel scraping, and we'll pass in the page, the browser, and the search location would be inside job.data.location, job.data.location like this. And after this, we'll have await prisma.jobs.complete. So we can copy that from here, and let's do the same for loop as well. So I'm going to copy this for loop as well, and let's remove this and paste that here. So this is the same, and instead of this I'm going to have hotels, not hotels, yeah, this thing, we just have to replace the spelling with hotels, and this is hotel, and this is going to be hotel dot title, and we don't have any logo. Instead we'll have image as hotel dot image, not image, photo. After that we'll have price. Let's remove all of this, and we have the price. So hotel dot price, then job is the same, and let's have location as job dot data dot location dot to lower case like this. That's it. And I think after this everything is done. And let's do one thing, let's console out the hotels as well, so we'll know what's being done. And let's write a console here as well, inside hotels. Save this, and let's restart our server. Let's head over to the UI. Let's refresh this, and let's search for Paris. Need to refresh this again. Paris, searching with this date, search hotels, and we have the scraping started. Let's see here. Navigating to Kayak stays. Let's wait. Okay, so our job did get failed, and we had to make several changes in our source code, and I'm going to show you that. So first, inside our instrumentation.ts file, I want you to check if this is job.data.jobtype.type. Make sure that you have this, and inside of here, instead of job.data.location, I want job.data.jobtype.location here, and same thing goes for here, job.data.jobtype.location.to lowercase. So make sure this is correct. And now inside of our hotel scraping.ts file, first make sure that you have dot here and here, and make sure that all of these selectors are correct. And after this, inside of this evaluate, make sure that you have this correct, and in the title I have added this piece of code right here. So if this header is there, then get the header from that, or we have this class name. So I was not getting the title and the price because of the changed selectors, so we have fixed that. So this is for the title, and this is for price. I added this as well here, and the photo remains the same. There is no change in the photo, and that's all the change was required. And now I'm going to show you that all of this has scraped, and let me scrape some hotels again. So I have removed all the hotels, and let's head back. Okay, so now let's start scraping the hotels for Mumbai. Mumbai, select the date, search the hotels, and let's wait for here. Okay, so our hotels has been scraped, and you can see that they are here, and Let's head over to our Prisma studio, and you can see that we have the hotels here. So that's working. Now what I want to do is let's do the UI for the hotels here. So I want to do one more thing. Before that, let's get the hotels array. So for that, we'll need to scrape hotels again. So this time let's do Ahmedabad, and I'm going to select the feature date, search, and head over to the network tab, and let's wait for the job to be completed. Okay, so that's complete again, and let's head over to script status, and this time I think there was no hotels, and this failed because of timeout, and we need to scrape again. So this time let's do for Mumbai again, and let's select the date. Let's wait for this to complete again. Okay, so now this has completed, and this time we did get the hotel. So I'm going to copy this object, and let's close this, and let's head over to the page.tsx of hotels. So this one, and I'm going to paste it over here. Const hotels equals to this array, and we are going to use this to design this. So let's do that now. Okay, so now inside of this file, what I want to do is first I will grab the router. So const router is equals to use router from next navigation, and we can do one thing. Let's head over to the page.tsx of flights, and we can get the necessary things from here. So we need the search params and this thing, and we don't need the random. So let's copy this and paste that over here, and let's use search params, and this is going to be use app store, and instead of script flights we are going to get the script hotels. And let's head over to the search hotels, and I don't remember that did we completed the uh, logic for setting the script hotels to our app store. So set scripting type false, and we are pushing the router, and yes, we are also setting the router to our hotels to Zustand store. So that's everything done. Now let's head over to the flights again and copy this book flight and paste that over here, and let's change this book flight to book hotel, and make sure that you import Axios and user API routes, and booking type is going to be hotels, and all of this is going to be the same, and instead of flight ID this is going to be hotel ID. And yeah, that is it. And let's do one thing. I'm going to copy this div from here and the button as well, and head over to page.tsx, replace this div with this like this, and make sure that you import the button, and this is search hotels, and make sure that you import fs chevron left as well. Let's head over to the UI, refresh the page, and we need to convert this to a client component. At the top, use client directive, refresh it, and we have the go back button. When we click over this, we should be navigated to the search hotels, and that is working as well. Let's design this now. So in here, what I want to do is, after this button, I'm going to have a div with flex call, gap of 5, and inside of this, I'm going to check if scrape hotels dot length is 0, then we can copy that component from here, and this is the same component. So let's copy this and head over to here and paste it here and change this scrape flights to scrape hotels dot length, and let's change this to no hotels found. And if we head over here, we have this no hotels found. Perfect. And after this div, not this, after this we'll have hotels dot length not equal 0, and we are going to have a div inside of it, and this is not equals, and this div is going to have a class name of flex call, and a gap of 5, and inside, not this div, I'm not sure. Yeah, we need to wrap a div around this. No, I'm making a mistake. So we don't need this class name here. And inside of this div, I'm going to have another div with a class name of grid calls of 3 and a gap of 10. And inside of this, we'll have scraped hotels.map, not scrape hotels, but hotels.map. So currently we have the data inside our hotels array, and we'll get the hotel from this, and we are going to return what should we return? We are going to return a div, and this div is going to have a key as hotel.id and some class names as well. So let's provide class name. Okay, so this is going to have a class name of flex call, items of center, justify center, and then we'll give it a cursor of pointer as well, shadow medium, then we'll give it a rounded 2xl, padding of 4, border neutral of 200, and inside of this I'm going to have another div with margin bottom of 3, relative width of full, height of 48, and inside of this I'm going to have an next image. So make sure that you import next image, and inside of this let's give it a source of hotel dot image, then I will give alternative text as hotel, then I will give it a fill prop and a class name of rounded 2xl. Save it, and let's head over to the UI, and we have this images. Awesome. Now after this image and this div, I'm going to have another div with width of full, flex call, item start, and a gap of 1, and inside of this we'll have an h3 with class name as font semi bold, capitalize, text neutral 900, and text of base, and inside of this I'm going to have hotel dot name, and after this h3 I'm going to have a span, and inside of that span I'm going to have a strong with dollar hotel dot price, and after this strong I'm going to have space like this, and I will write per night like this, and head over to the UI, and we have this like this. And now let's style the span, and let's give this a text of small, then text neutral of 500, and font of normal. Then this strong tag text is going to have a text of black, I think. Let's head over to the UI, and perfect, it's looking great. Now what next is, after this span, let's have a button to book. And I think I can copy this button from the flights page as well. Let's copy this, paste it. The size is going to be the medium. Variant is ghost. Radius, I don't think we need a radius. And class name is going to be margin top of 2. Color is going to be danger instead of primary. And if we have user info, let's book hotel and provide hotel.id and log into book and book now. That's it. Book now. Perfect. So this is great. Now let's click on book now to see if we are able to book, and we had an error. Inside of console, server responded with the status of 500. What is the issue? Okay, we have issue inside of this, and in here we have to add a case of hotels, and let's copy this, paste it, and this is going to be hotels. Done. That was the thing that we need to change. And in the get bookings, we also need to have a case for this. Copy this, paste, and change this to hotels, and change this to hotels as well. And I think we need to change this flight to hotel like this. Perfect. So this is done, and now let's try this again. Book this hotel, and we have the stripe and it's working. So let's give card number, pay now, and I guess this should work. Yeah, we have this hotel which is booked and completed. We have today's dates, and let's try to filter out the hotels only. So let's select hotels, and yeah, this is working. So our hotel section is also complete. Now, what I want to focus is, okay, we also have to do one more thing. Let's head over to the page.tsx again and change this hotels to scraped hotels, and I need to delete this hotels from here. So instead of the dummy amount, dummy hotels, we have the original hotels, and that is done. Now what next is, let's close all of these files, and we need to have the bookings for admin. So let's do the admin part now. That is what's remaining of the admin part. Okay, so now let's head over to the source, and inside app, inside the admin, I want to create a new folder named as hotels, and inside of hotels we are going to create a page.tsx, and let's write rfce here, and let's name this hotels, and let's create a layout.tsx as well, layout.tsx, and let's create a one more folder which is bookings, and let's have a page.tsx here as well, and a layout.tsx here as well, layout.tsx, and let's head over to the login page, not login, the script data, head over to the layout, copy this, and inside the bookings, let's paste this, and what should be the text here? So let's change this to bookings, bookings, and let's change this text to all the bookings by all users. Save this, and for this page.tsx of this booking, let's head over to my bookings page.tsx, and I want to copy all of this stuff from here, and I'm going to paste it here, save it, And what I want to do is let's create an API to get the data. So inside the API here, inside the booking, inside the get bookings, I'm going to copy this post request. Let's copy this post request and head over to route.ts, and at the end going to paste it here and change this to a get request. And from here, what should we do? This is the post request, this is the patch request, and why is there is an error for that? Let's write ts ignore at the top and ts no check. And now inside of this, I don't want to pass in this where clause, and we just want to run this find many, and we don't need the user ID. And that's all that we want to do. So we want to return all of the flights, not flights, but all of the bookings from all of the users. So that is done, and we also don't need this request. Remove that, and let's head over to the API routes. And inside the API routes, what I want to do is I want to add a get all booking route. So at the bottom, I'm going to add this get all booking, and I'm going to copy up this base route, paste it over here, and let's make sure that it's a template string. Save it, head over to the page.tsx, and we just need to change the route here. So instead of get user bookings, we need to use get all bookings. Save it, and let's head over to our admin panel, and we should be inside admin, and let's head over to hotels, not hotels but trips, and bookings, not trips. We have this UI, and we have no bookings found. Why it is like this? Let's inspect here, and let's head to the console, and we have a 500 error. So let's head over to the code base, and no responses returned get. And after this for, we are having next response.json. Inside of this for, we are having this next response. Why there's an error here? Not sure. Let's close this, and we are having return next response, and this is inside of try block. We are returning all the bookings. Let's save this, and let's do one thing. Let's console out the bookings here. Bookings, and I think I need to restart my server, and let's refresh this again. We are getting the bookings, but no, this is not bookings. This is this, and I think, yeah, I know what was the error. So inside of here, we need to change this to a get request, and we also need to remove this, and I guess that would work now. Let's refresh the page, and yeah, we are getting all the bookings from all the users. So this is done, and this is working. Now let's do the hotels page, and let's complete that as well. So we can do one thing for hotels. Everything is going to be the same as trips. So we can copy that from the trips. So now let's head over to the trips page and copy all of this. And I'm going to paste that over the hotel page. And I'm going to change this to hotels. And what should we do next is we also need to do the layout. So what should be the layout? Just let me check. Okay, so layout, let's copy the layouts from the scrape, paste it, and let's write hotels here. And what we are going to do here is we'll write all the info about scraped hotels like this. And then what we want to do is let's create an API to get the hotel data. So inside of API, and inside of this I'm going to create, not create, but yeah, I need to create a route. So that is going to be inside of all, inside API I'm going to create a new folder that is going to be all hotels, and inside of that I'm going to create a new file named as route.ts to get the data. And inside of this I'm going to paste up this, and you can see that we have this get request and we don't need this, and we are just getting all the hotels. It's just a simple API route. And let's head over to the API routes, and in here I want to write what should I write? We are getting all hotels, so let's write get all hotels, and then base route slash and all hotels like this, save it. And then let's head over to our route.ts, or what should we do here is route.ts, or yeah, we should head over to the page.tsx and change this trips, or let's have that trip only. And instead of get all trips we are going to have get all hotels. And let's have this as hotels and data.data.hotels, save it. And let's head over to the UI, head over to the utils and refresh it. And we have all the hotels, and now for the cities we need to change this cities to city, and this is going to be location. Let's save this and head over to our UI, and we have this as well. So this is working and this is done. So this is also done, and now let's do the logout here. So we have this logout remaining, so let's complete the logout first, and then we will have our dashboard. Now for logout, when we click on this logout we have this not found, and to fix that what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this logout folder from our user logout and paste that in the admin folder. And this all logic is going to be the same. So let's head over to the UI, and you can see that we are already here. And if we head over to admin, and we are still able to access all of this. This should not be the case. So we have to fix this using a middleware. So whenever we are accessing the admin, then we can only access if the user type is admin and if we are logged in. So inside of the source, I'm going to create a file named as middleware.ts. So this is a file provided by Next.js, and it exports a default function named as middleware, and we have to mark this component as a component as well, and this is the code for that. So we are marking this as a server component, and whenever any URL is a hit, and before getting all the data, Next.js heads over to this middleware.ts file, and it will check for all the code written inside of this. So first we have to write this export const config. So we need to run this file only for the admin, not for the user. So this should be run for only admin, and we have to have a function exported as middleware, and we need the JWT key. We can get this from login sign up. And first, if we'll check if the URL includes the login page, then we don't want to proceed here, because whenever the user is logged in, the user is not whenever the user is going to the login page, he might not be logged in. So if we the page is login, then this code should not be run. So we are getting the access token from the cookies, and we are verifying the token, and if the token is not correct, then we are heading it to the login page and saying that JWT expired, and then we are checking if the user is admin. So we have that is admin as true for the admin. So this is that. So now let's head save this and head over to our UI, and I'm going to refresh this, and let's see. Yeah, we were not able to access the admin panel, so let's try this again. Let's head over to admin trips, and we are navigated to this login page. So this is also working. And now what we had for the admin user credentials, let me check. So admin is admin@admin.com. So admin@admin.com, password is admin, login, and we are logged in, and now we are able to access everything. If I refresh and go to the trips page, we have the trips, so that is working. And now let's test logout, and we are logged out, and we head over to admin script data. It's not working, so this is done. Now let's log in again, and then I want to create this dashboard. This is the last thing that we have to do, and then we'll host the app on Aptible again, and this would app would be completed. So let's do that again. Okay, so for the dashboard data, let's close all of these files first, and close this as well. And inside source and inside API, first let's create the APIs that we are going to utilize. So inside of dashboard folder, we are going to have new folder named as metrics, and then we have again new folder for scraping chart data, and let's have a route.ts inside of this, and a route.ts inside of this, and this route.ts, let's copy one of this, paste it over here, and do the same for here. And inside of this metrics, this is going to be a get request, and we don't need the request in here. And let's remove all of this. Let's keep this piece of code, and let's grab the users count by users await prisma.user.count method, and I'm going to copy this and paste it 4 times. This is going to be for hotels, this is going to be for trips, this is going to be for flights, and this is going to be for bookings. This is going to be prisma.hotels.count. Then this is going to be prisma.trips.count. This is for flights. This is for bookings. And instead of this, let's remove this, and we are going to return user, not user, users, hotels, trips, flights, bookings, and the status code is going to be 200, and that's it. So this API is complete. let's close this. And uh, for this scraping chart data API, we have to do so many things. So let's remove all of this code from here, and then we'll have a start date and an end date. So for the start of the day and end of the day, we are going to use a package named as date fns. So let's install that. So npm install date fns. Let's write npm run dev, and in here I'm going to write start of day, and we'll provide new date here, and we want the date for the last 7 days before that. So I'm going to write new date minus 30 into 24 days into 60 minutes into 60 seconds, and then we'll have 1000 for multiplying that, as this is milliseconds. Save it, and okay, we don't need this minus here, and this is 60. And let's write ts ignore at the top, ts no check, and then we have the start date. Now we need the end date. So end date equals to end of day, and we'll have new date passed here. Then let's grab the data for hotels. So const hotels equals to await prisma dot hotels dot group by, and then we'll have by, and then we'll pass scrape down here, and we need the count to true, and we'll also pass in a where condition here. So where scraped on is greater than equal to start date and less than equal to end date. So remember that we had the scrape down on every hotels, flights and trips. So that was for this. And let's copy this, paste it 2 times, and this is for trips and this is for flights. And let's change this to trips and this to flights. Save this, and now we need to return this to the front end. So instead of this message, I'm going to return hotels, trips and flights, and this is going to be 200. Save it, and this API is also complete. Now let's write the routes inside our API routes file. So let's head over to API routes, and in the admin API routes, I'm going to write dashboard metrics as base route slash admin, base route slash admin. So we created that. We didn't created that inside the admin folder. So let's remove the admin. So dashboard slash, what should we write here is, this is metrics, and let's copy this, paste it, and this is going to be dashboard hyphen scraping chart data, and this is going to be base route dashboard, and this is going to be scraping chart data, like this. Save it, and now let's head over to the dashboard. So we have this page.tsx for dashboard, and we did created the layout.tsx for that, and yeah, it is here. And now the page.tsx for dashboard, what we are going to do first is, let's have a section here instead of a div. Replace this with a section, and let's give this a class name of margin of 10, flex call, and a gap of 10. And inside of this goes our another section tag, and class name is going to be grid calls of 5 and a gap of 5, and inside of this we'll go over metrics component that we have to create, and after this we are going to have a section again, and this is going to have a class name of grid calls of 6 and a gap of 2, and inside of this first we'll have a div with a class name of call span of 4, and after that we'll have a div with a call span of 2, call span of 2, and inside of this goes our scraping queue that we have already created inside admin scraping queue. Paste it, and now let's head over to the UI and refresh our dashboard, and we'll be having the scraping queue here, and I think we need to mark this component as a client component first. So let's mark this as use client, and now we have the scraping queue, and now let's create the metrics component inside of this. So let's create a new folder named as components, and inside of components I'm going to create a new folder named as metrics, and inside of metrics I'm going to have a metrics.tsx, and let's write index.ts, let's write rfce here and ms capital here, and let's have metrics and export metrics, and now let's head over to the metrics component, and what should we do here is we'll get the props of title and value here, and the title is going to be of string, and value is going to be of type number, and inside of this, instead of returning this, I'm going to remove this and use a card component from Next.UI, import it, and we'll have a card header, and inside of card header we'll have the title, and we'll have card body, and that will have the value inside of this. Let's give this a class name of background opacity of 40, and let's give this a class name of text large, and card body is going to have a class name of text 5 XL and font semi bold. Save it, and now let's head over to here, but we haven't used it, so let's use this inside page.tsx. So first we need to grab the data, so I'm going to create some states here, so I'm just going to paste that piece of code, and we have created use state for users, trips, flights, hotels and booking, and initially the values are 0, and now I'm going to write a use effect hook which will call the data and just set this to its states. So we have this code, import use effect, and change this to axios.get and admin API routes, and this is it. And now I'm going to copy and paste my metrics. So let's paste the metrics inside of this and import the metrics component, and this is metrics title value, that's it, and let's head over to the UI, and perfect. So we have this number of users, trips, flights, hotels and bookings. So this is done, and now all that is remaining is the scraping chart. So for scraping chart, I'm just going to copy and paste the component because I have generated using ChatGPT. I haven't written that component, so I'll just explain you that. So scraping chart, and yeah, if you are not using ChatGPT in your daily life, I will suggest that you start using it because it's very helpful in coding. So make sure that you are utilizing ChatGPT in your daily life. So we have exported this, and let's head over to page.tsx, and inside of this component let's have the scraping chart, and let's head over to the scraping chart, and we have to make some changes here. So I'll just make the change first and show you the data. So scraping chart and chart data. So set chart data. Instead of API client, I'm going to use the Axios, and that is it. Now we have this bar component from React Chart.js 2. So we need to install Chart.js 2 and we need to install the chart.js package. So npm install React chart hyphen chart.js hyphen 2, and I'm also going to install chart.js. Install those components and wait for that to install. Let's restart our server, and we have imported these things from that. Then we also need dynamic, and let's remove this from here. API client is not needed. And then we have interface for scraping data. This is for hotels, flights, and trips. So we will have scraped on and count from it. And this is the chart data interface, labels, and data states. And we need to register all the components to chart.js. So we have category size, linear slides, bar element, title, tooltip, and legend from chart.js. So register that. And then we have our component. So this is use state. And inside of this, we have labels and data sets. Okay, so now after this, we'll have the process data. So this is just for processing the data. You can just write it. We are just aggregating the data. That's it. Now we have this hotels, flights, and trips. And then we are returning this with the color. And then we have this use effect to get the data. And this is the actual component, and this is the bar component. And make sure that you write dynamic here and with SSR false. That's it. And let's reload this. Let's wait for it to compile. Element type is invalid, expected a string but got undefined. So where did I missed out? Okay, so inside of page.tsx, instead of importing like this, I have to import this component like dynamic as false, but I have already exported it like this, export dynamic. So I think I don't need to do this inside of this. And let's head over to page.tsx and let's import that component scraping chart. And yeah, we don't see the error now. Let's refresh this, but we don't have the error. Okay, item.scrapedown.split, and let's inspect the page, head over to network, refresh the page, and what error do we have here? So did we call the API for chart? This is drop details and scraping chart data. So we are getting the details here for all of this, but it's not able to show data properly. Why is that? Let me check and I'll let you know. Okay, so it is working now. You can see that I have scraped 51 trips today. Not today, but on 11th. And on this, today we have scraped 60 hotels. Yesterday we scraped 49 flights. And uh, this is working. And what changes were to made is inside the of this interface, we have to change the spelling to this. And inside of data.reps.forEach, the spelling has to be changed to this, and that should work. And with this, our Arclight Travel Planner app is complete. And if you have enjoyed this video, this project, just hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now let's host this app on Aptible. So now let's talk about Aptible. So what exactly is Aptible? Well, it's a game changer in the world of application hosting. Whether you are a developer or a business owner, Aptible has some fantastic features that can make your life so much easier. Let's talk about the features of Aptible in detail. First up, we have rapid deployment. Aptible simplifies the whole process of deployment, making it incredibly easy to get your app up and running. No more fussing with complex configurations, just focus on your code. Then we have rock solid security. Security is a top priority for any company, and Aptable takes it to the next level. They provide robust encryption, compliance controls, and regular audits to keep your data safe because your peace of mind matters. And scaling your app couldn't be easier with Aptable. It automatically adjusts resources to match your app's needs. So there you have it, folks. Aptable, the future of application deployment and management. If you are a developer or a business owner looking to innovate faster and more securely, you owe it to yourself to check out Aptible. So now let's host your app on Aptible. Okay, so now for hosting, let's head over to Aptible and aptible.com, and I'm going to log in to Aptible from here. Not login, but sign up. I'm going to create a new account. I'm going to name Kishan Shade. This is going to be Sion Fox, and I'm going to create a new password. Create the account, and that's a very simple process. And now Aptable would have sent a verification email, and I need to verify account. So this is that. Let's click on this and our account would be verified. Now let's click on this get started, and I'm going to create my environment name as YouTube, and the app name would be Arclight. I'm going to create the app, and I'll need to provide my credentials here and confirm. Now, in order to connect with Aptible, we need to have an SSH. So for SSH, you need to have Git installed on your machine. If you have not installed, you can just head over to Git, search Git, not GitHub, but search for Git on Google, and you can install this Git for your machine, and then you will have Git access. And now I want to open up a terminal. Okay, so now inside my terminal, I'm going to write SSH hyphen keygen and hyphen t and write RSA. Then I will write hyphen b and then 4096, and then I will write hyphen c and write zinfox21@gmail.com. You have to use your email address here and hit enter, and it's saying SSH keygen. Okay, this is SSH hyphen keygen, not underscore. Hyphen keygen, enter. It will create the public and private keys. In which file you want to create save the key, I'm going to save it to the default location, the .ssh. Enter, 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 and our SSH key was generated. Now let's head over to code.ssh, and this has opened, and you can see that we have this public key, and I'm going to copy this public key and head over to Aptible and paste that public key here, save the key, and now I want to do some more thing. So after saving that, I want to add known host to the file. So one more thing I have to do is I have to create a config file. So inside of this config file, I'm going to write host Aptible and then host name as beta.aptible.com, and then I will write user as Kishan Shade. You can write anything here, and the identity file is going to be /.ssh slash id hyphen rsa, this file, the private key. So that is for that. And now after this, inside the terminal, I want to do one more thing. SSH-key scan, and I will write beta.aptible.com, and then I will write known hyphen hosts and write this, and it will create this known hosts and write the hosts of Aptible inside of that. And our this process is complete. Now what I want to do is I am going to click on this environment and open that on a new tab and click on my environment, click on the database, and I'm going to create a new database named as PostgreSQL 16, and the database handle would be Arclight SQL. You can name it anything, and I will save the changes. So this will provision a database. We'll wait for this to complete. Okay, so our database provision is completed. Now I want to provision one more database, which is Redis. So I'm going to select Redis 7.2, and this is going to be Arclight Redis, and save the changes, and this will create our Redis database. Wait for this to complete. Okay, so our Redis database has also been provisioned, and these two are the backups for that. So now let's head over to Aptible again, and we have to copy this git remote, and I will head over to my VS Code, and not this, yeah, this one, and I'm going to write uh, first, let's see if we have a .git. So I write ls-al to see, yeah, we have .git. So what I'm going to do is I will write rm-rf .git. We need to remove that. Again, I will write git init, and then what I want to do is uh, I will write git add dot to add all the files, and I will write git commit hyphen m initial commit, and I'm not going to push the code. Instead, I will paste that command from Aptible, git remote add Aptible, and paste it. And now I will head over to Aptible again, and we have this git push Aptible main. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to paste it, and I will change this main to master, and I will do one more thing. Let's head over to schema.prisma, and inside of this I will remove this environment variable, and the URL for our database would be, let's head over to PSQL here, and let's head over to endpoints. Do we have endpoints? Or let's head over to connection URL. I'm going to copy this connection URL from here, and I want to paste that connection URL here, save this file, and let's head over to our redis.ts, and in here I'll also have the Redis URL. So head back again to database, and I need Arclight Redis, show connection URL. So do we need to use the SSL? Just let me check. Let's use this, the SSL one. Going to copy this and change it to here, save it. And now what I want to do is we have this and this, and inside of next config, let's head over to nextconfig.js, and inside of here I want to change this next public domain, and that would be http, not http, let's remove this https colon slash slash app hyphen, then I need the ID of my app, which is this. So not this, in this tab, this is the ID of my app, and I'll get the ID from there, paste that ID over here, and then I will write on hyphen aptible.com on dash aptible.com like this, save it, and we have this key, and now this as well, and we can replace the database URLs and everything here. So I'm going to copy this, and this is the my Redis URL. This is the Stripe key, and let's remove the database URL. We are not going to use that. And let's head over to Aptible, and all things are set. Now let's run this command git push aptible master colon aptible scan, and hit enter and wait for it to run. And it has accepted our code, and if we head over to browser, you can see that it is written scan code detected and this operation is running. And let's wait here for the process to get completed. Okay, so our code has been pushed to Aptible, and let's head over to the browser, and you can see that your code has a Docker file and will be used to build our Aptible image. So that's done. And now let's connect database here, and I'm going to choose this PSQL here, and the environment variable would be this database URL. Then I would write new database here again, not new database. I will write connect existing now and write Redis here, and this is going to be the environment variable for Redis URL. So let's write Redis URL, and then we'll write additional environment variables here. So the JWT key, which would be like this, super secret key. Then we'll have our Stripe key, and I think that's it. And I'm going to save and deploy, and let's see if this works. So our operation has been queued and it will take some time to get completed. Okay, so our operation has failed because our command npx prisma db push failed, and it failed because in our VS Code, if you head over to the version control here, you can see that we have this uncommitted changes here. So we need to commit all of those changes, and then we'll write aptable hosting as the commit message, and we need to copy this command and push the code there. And instead of main branch, we are going to push the master branch, hit enter, and wait for the operation to get completed. Okay, so our app has been successfully deployed, and if we head over to Aptible, you can see that it has been deployed. And let's create an endpoint with this command, create endpoint. And now let's click on view environment. Let's click on ArcLight, and let's head over to endpoints, and the endpoint is still provisioning. Wait for this to complete. Okay, so the endpoint has been provisioned. Now click on this, and we have the URL here. Let's click on this and wait for it to load. And you can see that our app has been hosted successfully on Aptible. Let's search for a location. Let's search for Dubai, and you can see that we have this live data as well. And now let's head over to admin and scrape the data. Head over to scrape data. Okay, now let's try to scrape data for Dubai. Select Dubai from list, and let's hit on the scrape button. Okay, so our packages has been scraped, and if we head over to the drifts page, you can see that we have multiple packages, and so our application was successfully hosted. And if we head over to one of these packages, let it load, and you can see that we have all the details here. And yeah, so this is working, and we have successfully hosted our app on Aptible. And this is it for this video. So this is me, Kishan Chet, signing out.